There is a fundamental law that governs our understanding of reality. It is a rule of logic as much as it is a rule of physics. The container must be older than the contents. A child cannot be born before its mother. A house cannot be built before the foundation is laid, and a star cannot be born before the universe itself created the darkness it sits in. According to the standard model of cosmology, everything we know, time, matter, energy, began exactly 13.79 billion years ago. Before that moment, there was no before. This date is the absolute limit of our reality. It is the hard wall against which all other history is measured. Nothing in existence can be older than this number. But speeding through the constellation of Libra, just 190 light-years from Earth, is an object that mocks our timeline. It is traveling at a staggering 1.3 million kilometers per hour. It is designated HD 140283. Astronomers call it the Methuselah Star. And for the last 20 years, this star has been whispering a terrifying secret. The math is wrong. In the year 2000, scientists analyzing data from the European Space Agency's Hipparcos satellite calculated the age of this star. They expected a standard number. What they found was impossible. The data indicated the star was 16 billion years old. That is more than 2 billion years older than the universe itself. This number was catastrophic. As astronomer Howard Bond from Penn State admitted, it was a serious discrepancy. That is scientific politeness for a disaster. If this single data point was correct, it meant one of two things. Either our understanding of how stars age was completely broken, or the Big Bang theory itself, the foundation of modern science, was a lie. How can an object exist before the time required to create it? It shouldn't be possible. And yet, the star is right there, visible in our telescopes, moving through our galaxy, defying the laws of causality just by being there. The scientific community couldn't ignore it, so they decided to fix it. Between 2003 and 2011, Howard Bond and a team of astrophysicists used the Hubble Space Telescope to reinvestigate the star. Their goal was simple: find the error. They needed to find a reason why this star looked so impossibly old. They pored over 11 sets of observations, looking for any excuse to lower the number. They scrutinized every variable. They looked at the star's distance parallax. They analyzed the nuclear fusion rates in its core. They found that the star had a higher than expected ratio of oxygen to iron. Since oxygen wasn't abundant in the early universe, this pollution suggested the star might be slightly younger than it looked. They found that helium was diffusing deeper into the core, altering the burn rate. After years of recalculations and theoretical adjustments, they managed to shave billions of years off its age. In 2013, they announced a new number, 14.46 billion years. It was a victory for the math, but it was still a defeat for the model. 1446 is still older than 13.8. The paradox remained. A follow-up study in 2014 pushed the error margins to their absolute limit. They argued that if you took the lowest possible estimate for the star and the highest possible estimate for the universe's age, the numbers technically overlapped. They finally got the star down to roughly 14.27 billion years, with an uncertainty of 800 million years. Science breathed a sigh of relief. By stretching the error bars to the breaking point, they could claim there was no conflict. They told the public the problem was solved. They said, the star fits. The standard model survives. But while they were busy fixing the star, they forgot to check if the universe was still cooperating. While stellar physicists were forcing the star's age down, cosmologists were accidentally breaking the age of the universe. In July 2019, at the Kavli Institute in California, the world's top cosmologists gathered to discuss a crisis. It is called the Hubble Tension, and it destroys the safety net we just built. Nobel laureate Adam Rees and his team discovered that the universe is expanding faster than the Planck satellite predictions said it should. Much faster. The standard model predicts an expansion rate of 67 kilometers per second per megaparsec. But the new measurements from the local universe show a rate of 73 or even 74. Why does this matter? Because in cosmology, faster expansion means a younger universe. If the universe is expanding faster, it hasn't been around as long as we thought. A higher Hubble constant means the universe isn't 13.8 billion years old. It gets worse. A 2019 study published in the journal Science proposed a Hubble constant of 82.4. If that number is correct, the universe is not 13.8 billion years old. It is only 11.4 billion years old. Even if we accept the most generous, heavily massaged fix for the Methuselah Star, putting it at 12 billion years, it is still older than an 11.4 billion-year-old universe. The paradox is back. The child is once again older than the mother, and this time, there is no error margin large enough to hide it. As physicist Robert Matthews said, the observational cosmologists have missed something. We are missing a massive piece of the puzzle. We tried to force the star to be young and the universe to be old, but the data refused to lie. So what is the answer? If the physics are broken, we have to look at the metaphysics. One terrifying possibility aligns with the simulation theory. In a computer program, assets can be created with backstory or age that predates the runtime of the simulation itself. If you launch a game, the character might have a backstory that says they are 30 years old, even though the simulation has only been running for 5 minutes. Is HD 140283 an asset that loaded with the wrong timestamp? Or is it a leftover file from a previous session? This leads to the theory of conformal cyclic cosmology. Perhaps the Big Bang wasn't the beginning. Perhaps it was just a transition. If our universe is just the latest in an infinite chain of universes, is it possible that this star is a survivor? It sounds like science fiction. But if a low-mass star managed to survive the heat death of the previous eon or retain its structure through the singularity, it would appear to be impossibly old to the inhabitants of the new universe. It would be a ghost, a relic from a time before time. Or perhaps, as some fringe theorists suggest, the star isn't a star at all. If a Type 3 civilization wanted to store data for billions of years, they wouldn't build a hard drive. They would build a stellar mass object designed to burn slowly and survive the ages. We might be staring at a time capsule. Whether it is a glitch in the simulation, a survivor from a dead universe, or proof that our physics is fundamentally flawed, the conclusion is the same. The timeline we were taught in school was wrong. We built a model of the universe that felt safe, a model with a beginning, a middle, and an end. HD 140283 is the glitch that ruins the safety. It proves that we do not understand time. We are like ants standing on a computer chip, trying to calculate the age of the factory based on the heat of the silicon.